So, the unthinkable happened. Somebody bought an existing application that was really, really good. They didn't fill it with AI-riddled nonsense. There is some, of course, because that's the world we live in. They didn't make it a subscription service. They didn't charge loads of money for it. In fact, they made it better and they made it free. And it works on Linux. Still have to go through Lutris, well, wine, but it works. So let's do it. Let's get to it. So a couple of things before we get started, because you know I'm not going to run you through a long video for no reason. If you installed my Affinity V2, not mine, the video that I did showing you how to do Affinity V2, the process is exactly the same. So if you've already got Elemental Warrior, Wine in, and you've already got Lutris in, it's exactly the same. You can just point the prefix like we did on the previous video where we said, if you want to install one of the other three apps, if you'd installed Designer and you want to do Photo, if you want to do the same now, the new Affinity Canva, you just do the same thing. You just point to that and it'll install and it should just work. So this video really, for you, if you are one of those people, you don't need to do it. But this is a video for anybody who is installing it completely fresh, or if you're like me and you want to install it again, like in a separate, it's in the same Lutris, but not in the same sort of box. I don't really know how to explain it. That was the worst explanation. But basically, I want to install it isolated from the other one. So I don't want to upgrade it. I don't want to do anything like that. I want to install them side by side. So that's what we're going to do. A prerequisite is you have to have Lutris already installed. If you haven't got Lutris already installed, I'm not going to do that again because I had a VM set up for that before, so I could do that. That is on my other video. I'll link it in the description. Just watch the beginning bit. It'll show you how to install Lutris. There's two ways. Well, I think there's more ways, but there's two ways, particularly if you're on Fedora like me, you can install it using the Discover. Well, both ways use the Discover, in fact, but one way uses the Flatpak version, one way uses the Fedora repo. I use the Fedora repo because I found it was better. I don't think there's too much in it, so either one is fine. There's a slight difference on the install depending on which version of Lutris you installed, and I'll put both the locations for that in as we go through. That will make sense in a bit, don't worry. All right, enough waffling. Let's start installing. So we are in the same repository as before. Now, Affinity on Linux was by somebody else previously, and it's been taken over by someone called Cpear. Not sure. Hopefully I said your name right. But it's a brilliant, brilliant thing. So again, as I said on the last one, I didn't make this. I'm just going through it and showing you how to do it because I'm a visual learner. And I didn't find many videos for how to do this previously. There probably is now. But I just wanted to follow on mine because a few people in the comments have said, can you do it for the new one? Absolutely, yes, I can. Because I need to do it as well. So I haven't installed it yet on here. So we're doing this together for the first time. So we are in the same Git repo. Again, any link that I mention will be down in the description. You'll be able to just click it and go for it. The page that I'm on right now is the full repo. You don't have to worry about picking on here. You can choose to install this a different way. The guide I'm going to show you today is with Lutris. I tested all the other different ones over different times. This one to me makes the most sense, and it's visual. There's hardly any. In fact, I don't think there's anything in the command line at all. It's all visual. So I love doing it this way. So there are, if you do want to do it, there's all these different ways to do it. We're going for the Lutris version, which I already have here. So the first thing that we need to do, and I haven't done it yet, so I'm going to cut while I do that, but basically install the new version of Affinity. And if you don't know the link for it, the guide is actually in this repo. So we can open this up, and then we're going to download for Windows, and we need to make sure that it's the MSI EXE version, not the MSI only version. Need a proper executable, and then that will download. Probably don't need to cut. That was really quick. Yeah, I am flying today. All right, so I've got that downloaded. Awesome. And close that. Next bit. Oh yeah, there is a bit of console. There is a little bit of console. So this should already be installed. I think it's installed already on Fedora, and it probably is installed on most others. But let's run it anyway. So we're going to open up our console. And we can copy that command there, which is sudo dnf install winetricks. And it might even say on here, does it tell you what it is? No, it's just basically some things for wine that allow it to do certain actions. You can go Google winetricks if you're unsure and go and have a read about it. I do that all the time. In fact, I think it was, can't remember if it was this video or if it was on my Resolve video, I did a link out to like all the different things I didn't know before, and I Googled and found this cool website for it. But anyway, in this case, you can do that. I'll just show you that on mine, it's already installed. I'm on Fedora 43 now, so if you're not on Fedora 43, this process is exactly the same if you're on 42. It'd be no problem at all. So yeah, so I've already got it installed. If you haven't, it'll say, do you want to install it? You press yes, and that's it, you're done. And then you can close the console. I don't think we need that again, I'm pretty certain. So yeah, install Lutris, we've talked about that already. Do your thing. And now we need to download and extract a wine for the TKGE Affinity version. I could never get this to work. Now, I don't know if it's because I'm on NVIDIA or not. I'm not sure, but I could never get it to... It would install, but it ran really poorly. But then I've seen other people who've done the TKG Affinity one, and it's worked perfectly fine. But the recommended one, the one that's always worked for me, is the Elemental Warrior one. So in this particular case, we're just going to click this link and download it, and it's going to download a zip file into your wherever you do your downloads. And this, again, should also be pretty quick. Go, go, go. Yeah, done. Right. In our downloads now, we're going to extract this folder. Let me just double check. Yeah, we're going to extract this folder and delete the archive. And I'll take a little bit. See down the bottom right. It's been doing its thing. There we go. We got this folder. And then we can cut this. And now this is where it's slightly different. Depending if you installed Lutris using the Flatpak version, or in my case, the Fedora version, or the app image, whichever you did. In my case, I did mine using the Fedora repo through Discover, which is basically the same, I believe, as doing the app image. And then paste it in here. Now, I am going to paste mine in here. This may be a really bad idea. I don't think it will be. It should be exactly the same. And I don't think anything gets changed. So I'm going to paste mine. I'm going to paste it over the top. But you want to paste it in there. And this folder, it basically is home, your username, .local, share, Lutris, runners, wine. That's if you're doing the app image or the Fedora repo. I'll paste the really long, horrible, Flatpaky place if you've installed it via Flatpak. And if you haven't already got a folder in runners called wine, just call one wine and then paste it in. And then that's it, done. We are finished with that. All right, so the last bit that we actually need the web page for, well, you will need the web page for, because the rest of it I'm going to cover, is we're going to download the actual script that is going to tell Lutris how to install Affinity. So assuming you've done Elemental Warrior like me, click the Elemental Warrior. That is sometimes an interesting thing to say. Click the Elemental Warrior script, and then over here, press download raw file. Do not right click it and do save as. Don't copy and paste it. Literally do this, because then it doesn't add any weird stuff into the file. Because if you do, it won't work. It will just fail and it will complain. So I don't need this anymore. I'm going to whip this over here just in case I need to come back to it, but I don't think I need it. Okay, then we're going to head over into Lutris. So I'm going to, whoop, I had that open twice. I'm going to close that down and bring up Lutris. And then we're going to start with the actual install. So in this case, we're going to press the plus, install from a local script. Then using the three dots, it's going to be what we just downloaded. So Affinity ew.yaml or ew.yaml. Press install. And then press install. And then press continue. Now, I'm not going to tick these because I think we're going to point it to the actual application at the end. And there's no point in having them now, because otherwise it's going to create shortcuts that don't work and you have to delete them. So just untick them. You don't need them at all right now. So press continue. And then it's now going to ask you for some of these parameters, and in this case we're going to point to the setup file. So in this case we are going to press the three dots, we're going to go to downloads, we're going to go to Affinity x64.exe that we downloaded, and then this one here, WinMetaData.zip, we're just going to leave it alone because it's going to download it for us as part of the install process. So we're going to leave that running, and I will come back to you if anything pops up. And it was taking ages, and I don't think that was going to finish. So I think what I'm going to do is try downloading it. So I've opened up the YAML file and found where it downloads it from. I don't know if this will make any difference, but I'm basically just going to take this link, which I'll put in the description, download it, and then I'll come back to you and show you how I'm going to do it. All right, so if it worked for you and it got through to the next bit, you don't need to do this. But if it's not working for you, like it didn't work for me, we're going to follow the exact same steps. So we're going to go to the YAML file, install with Elemental Warrior wine. You say it like a robot. Continue. Select the Affinity file, which is still our .exe, but then this time instead of download, although it did seem to download, so I'm not sure if this is actually an issue with that. But let's try it anyway and see. Let's press install and then see. It took an age before. I am impatient, but it still just took forever, and I don't know why. So let's just see what it does now if I do it this way. All right, that still didn't work. So again, if it worked for you, great. Just you can go on to whatever the next step is. But I've got a different idea. So we're basically going to delete the WinMetaData stuff out of here. So this is a bit more advanced. I know I said like normally it's just click it, and normally it is. I've never had this sort of problem before, but I'm hoping. So we're gonna learn here together. Let's see. Why can't I go down? I've got no scroll. Can we just get rid of the task for WinMetaData? Yes, we can. But this is what I was looking for. So it's going to copy it into this folder, which is basically going to be where Lutris installs it. So we'll do that manually. So let's go in here and delete that task. And we can probably leave the bit at the bottom the same because it's just going to download it and do nothing with it. So just so you can see that again, into this folder, open it with whatever text editor of your choice. And then this task, so we've got installer and task. We're going to get to extract, and we're just going to delete that out completely. And then that will not try and do that. That's my hope. So do that, save it, close it. And then we're going to try again. So I was going to delete that out and then just have it as the actual, this is how to do it. I think it's important, and I've done this on previous tutorials, to show when things go wrong, what things you can try. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I don't know if this is going to work, but let's give this a whirl now. So install from a local install script. We're going to go 3 dots, and we're going to go to downloads. Still that YAML file, it's just that we've updated it. I'm going to press install, and then install again. Affinity Suite is fine. Next. So now, yep, the same again. We go downloads, Affinity 64. Install. It's going to do the download, but it'll do nothing with it, so that's okay. Let's just see what it says. Hopefully now it just goes past it. It still says copy and WinMetaData though. All right, that didn't work. So I'm back in the file. To you in the editing, I'm probably still in the file, and that's fine. I think there's this bit here as well that we need to delete. So we delete the task, we need to delete the merge, and then save, and then fingers crossed, that'll be it. So let's try again in the installer. We're going to go install from a local install script, 3 dots, downloads, the YAML, install, continue. We're going to select our file, and Affinity 64. Now, what I was saying when I was doing this was, I was just going to cut this out and have it as this is the way, but the other way might work for you on your distribution, I don't know. It's working now, great. But what I wanted to do is show, like, when I'm doing these things, this is how I'm trying to figure out how to make them work. And I'm no Linux expert at all. As you know, I've only been using it for nearly a year, like literally it was December last year. So I'm just sort of plodding about a bit, figuring things out and trying to make them as easy as possible. And that's why I do some of these videos, really. It's sometimes nice being a newbie, just showing you what I've done. So that's how I figured that out. I will put maybe some more detailed instructions in the description if that would be helpful. But hopefully from the video, you'll see there what I deleted to make that work. This may not still work. The installer's now working, which is great. But I don't know whether the thing's going to load. Now, it's going to be important for us that when we finish this bit of the installation, that we don't launch the game. Not the game, the program in this case. Keep calling it a game because in Lutris everything's a game. Because we're going to have to manually do that task. So we will do that after this. This is going to take a little while. It always does this little bit of the install. So leave this alone. If it comes with any pop-ups, I'll come back to you and show you what to do. All right, we've got our first pop-up, which is entirely expected. So that's good. So this is the Windows installer saying, where do you want me to put it? In our case, we just press install. We don't care. It's going to put it in C program files Affinity, which is whatever in this particular case for us. Doesn't make any difference to where we install it. Now, I think I did leave boxes ticked because I've got an Affinity logo on my desktop, which I'm not sure is going to work. But we'll see. We'll see. I've just seen it pop up. So we've got close. And yes, right. Definitely do not launch. We should have, it's got Affinity Suite. Okay. So I know already that we need to change this. See this identifier here? This needs to be changed to Affinity Canva. And I believe that is so that the scripts behind it understand which thing you're trying to run. So press apply. That's Affinity Canva done. Sorry, I didn't say how to get in there. So if you right click on the one that says Affinity Suite, press configure, and we look at this identifier. Did I cancel that? I must have cancelled it. So go to configure, go to identifier, go to change, and we're going to change this to say Canva, apply, and the icon change. That's cool. And then press save. The other thing we need to do now is we need to go to right click and browse files. This is going to take us to the folder where, there's WinMetaData. This is going to take us to the folder where it was installed. So actually, if you've done that, WinMetaData is already there. Otherwise, it's in here in your downloads, whatever you've done with it. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to extract it and delete the archive. It can be the same one that's in your downloads if you want to. And then I'm going to cut it. And it said before it's going to go in Drive C, Windows, system32, and then paste. I believe that's all it's going to do. So we're going to write into there, apply to all, overwrite. That's done. So I think now we should be able to close that. And now we're into normal stuff. So if we go back to configure, game options, yeah, this is what I thought, that it wasn't going to understand what the actual executable is that we want to run. So we are going to, I keep clicking without saying, we're going to click in this executable field, click the 3 dots, then we're going to go to drive C, we're going to go to program files, we're going to go to Affinity, then Affinity.exe, and save. On our desktop, I'm not even going to try and run these, I'm going to get rid of them. And in fact, I'm going to right click on here, and I'm going to do create desktop shortcut there. This should now work. I need to do properties on the desktop shortcut and allow executing file as a program. So we should now be able to launch it from here or here. So I'm just going to launch it in Lutris for now. Let's see. Fingers crossed that little fix in the middle has worked. But I was pretty much on the fly. Interestingly enough, just like the old one, the splash screen was all black. But it works! We're in! It's done! Oh, excellent. So we've got a welcome screen. Like I said, I haven't used this yet, so I'm wondering if I was to open, let's see if we can find one of my other amazing thumbnails that you all know that I do really, really well. Thumbnail templates. What have I got in here? Let's go for Rocket Graph. This is one of the things I've been using before. Make it unusable. I'm gonna allow it to just open and do its thing. So we should have in here completely individual things. Yeah, we have. So that's the screenshot I took inside Minecraft. So I should be able to move the rocket. Yes, everything works fine. Brilliant. Right, let's see. One of the big problems that we had before, or one of the problems that a lot of people had, was if you just close it, it didn't ask you. Let's just see if it still does. It still does just close. So there's one. So that isn't fixed. It will literally just close on you. Although, yeah, I did make changes. I dragged it around, so it will still just close on you. That's one thing. So let's open this back up again. Yeah, we know it was created with an earlier version. We're okay. And then in the other one was in the edit settings. It didn't let us save anything, people were saying. So let's give that a test. Let's just change something. Enable. Let's reopen document at startup. Let's just do that. Do that. I have a feeling this will do the same as what it did before. Purely because, let's do exit that way. Purely because it literally just closes when you press the X. It doesn't ask you if you want to close. So I imagine that setting's going to be unticked. But at least now we know. We're gonna do that quick check. Open U. Press close. Go to edit and settings. Yeah. So it's still unticked. So we've still got those bugs are still in it, but you can use the new version completely free. Now, on my last video, if you want to see how I used it, I actually made a thumbnail. It wasn't the best thumbnail in the world because I'm not really great at making thumbnails. Sometimes I can make cool thumbnails, sometimes not. And that'll still show you how to use it. The app itself looks pretty much the same, so it's just got a few extra bits in and whatever else. So I believe it just performs better. It seems to be a lot better, actually, just moving things around. I'm not getting any of the very early versions of it used to flash and it was horrible and I couldn't even use it. The latest version worked fine, but you could see it was almost like a little bit, only a tiny bit, but not much. But this one's really, really smooth. So yeah, that seems to have made a big difference. So I'm going to close that. I hope that's helped you get this installed. I hope you don't mind me showing you the middle bit, which is it didn't work, what do I do? Because I have a feeling you're going to come across that as well. And I think it's important to just show those steps of when things don't go right, what could we try? If it wasn't for you, fair enough. Hopefully you just skip past it and you installed. So let me know if you have any problems and I'll try and figure out for you. Like I said, all the links, all the file locations, they'll all be down in the description if you want to copy and paste them. And yeah, I think that's it. So happy Canvaing, I guess now, not Affinity-ing. Enjoy yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great time. Goodbye.